This is Joe. So, welcome everybody to the Pandora's Box official AMA today, July 27th, 2022. So, first of all, thank you for joining, Casper, as always. Um, Today, we're going to be sharing some news regarding the pre sale and the first part of the 5Ts. You have a chance to also ask questions. You can either just unmute yourself and ask by voice, but you can also just send us a message and we will be looking through the chat during our call. So the 5Ts is a framework shared with us by our financial advisor, who's also here today, Deckard Gain, which allows potential holders to perform an assessment of a project in order to determine the risk factors before contributing to the project financially. The 5Ts are as follows. Team, who's involved? What have they done previously? How do they operate? Technology, what kind of tech is it? What does it do? The third one is tokenomics. What are the tokenomics, token mechanics, and advantages to the project? The timing, short-term or long-term vision. Is it relevant now? And the last T is tokenization. Why tokenize? What solution does the token provide? Well, let's start with project updates, such as the pre-sale first. Something important came to our attention regarding the pre-sale, and that's why we notified the community, but also the pre-sale contributors right away. When setting up the contract parameters in the Pinksale, the vesting period for the token was not included. So for us to remember that the vesting period was voted on by the community, by the UNBOX community, and is designed to protect token holders by counteracting selling pressure. Thereof, it is a crucial functionality and it must be included in our pre-sale. Must have been in that case. So the first action that we took was to put a halt to the existing pre-sale. While we were coordinating the new parameters with the developers, several big players in the space we shared our vision with have expressed interest in what we are building here at Unbox. You're going to hear more about that later today. They have expressed a desire to collaborate with us and help us promote the Unbox project. We have possibilities and different routes to go from, but creating partnerships which are omni-wing takes time. We are taking our time to consider these possibilities to make the best decision for the project. In the meantime, we realized because we launched on pre-sale, we got lots of eyes in our community, lots of new eyes. Our Telegram has grown to almost 100 new members organically in a little bit over 24 hours. We have added a new community mod who has some great connections in the space. We're looking to expand our team, and we have received countless offers, not just for partnerships, but for collaborations as well. In the meantime, we now have the token audit results by Contract Wolf, which showed 93% safety rating. We are very glad with the work of the team choosing the tokenomics, but also the work of the dev for us to get this amazing news. Now we're going to go to the 5Ts, or at least the first part of that conversation. So Sudian, what's in the box?
Big reveal moment. So what's in the box is essentially you and your assets in one way of looking at it. We're building behind the scenes. We have been working hard and in the silence because we're working with intellectual property, and we have been filing patents around a non-hackable digital identity system, which will be working with blockchain systems as well as traditional systems. So due due to what we're building on the side, we have had some restructuring going on, and now due to the pause and potential new investors and whatnot, we are now discussing potential merger opportunities between existing companies that we have, and at the same time we're discussing how to ensure that Unbox gets as much of the or gets a lot of the functionalities firsthand and be the first one to push out the different functions that this system is going to have. Viking, do you feel like chiming in something?
Well, yeah, sure. Is essentially what we mean by you are in the box is what's been said here. We intend to what we call unhackably encrypt the identity of an individual in a manner where you own your own identity now. Your KYC and all these processes that you need to go through, which almost kept you from going into crypto, and it keeps a lot of people from going into crypto. These things are now no longer necessary. You own your own identity, and you can now delegate who has access to whatever information is included in that. I'm actually gonna pass this conversation off to our CEO and newly minted CEO. But he is essentially an industry titan. He has many patents under his belt. When we were speaking to him about Phoenix Rising, which is actually the parent company that Pandora's falls under. There's many things in the future that we can divulge, and you guys will understand a little bit more about those connections. But when we were speaking to him about this technology that we're going for, he zeroed in on one concept and essentially expounded upon that himself and helped us write patents to nail this down. And now this is what we want to release through the Pandora's platform. So here is Jamie, and I'll let him speak from here.
Thanks, Viking. Well, I'm newly minted, so forgive me. I still have a honeymoon period. I think it lasts until tomorrow. So what Viking is talking about is something called a non-hackable digital identity, NDI for short. So that's one thing that Unbox is going to be able to make use of. And they're also going to be able to make use of a thin client where the NFT application will be implemented and use the C2 network to I'm being told something here. Speak up. We are. Okay, so essentially, what will happen is the C2 network, as it will operate in such a way that your non-hackable digital ID will be freely associated with your application. You can no longer be hacked. Your NFTs are going to be safe, and Unbox will have an MFN agreement to use C2 network, so no one will ever get a cheaper thing than them. So that essentially, there's well, would like to tell you about Phoenix Rising Tech. I don't think this is appropriate, but virtually all of it will be leveraged by Unbox. So that's probably the big takeaway for me. So, and with that, we'll open it up.
So some of the things that comes out of a non-hackable digital identity is, and also the method of verifying identities in plural on the blockchain comes down both to issuer of housing. Now we can suddenly have like now we have solved some things around the NFT verifications. We have some things solved around contract signatures. You have login mechanisms, you have KYC mechanisms. There is a lot behind here that will be revealed over time that becomes now possible in both cryptosphere, but also outside in the Web2 systems. Yeah, it can be quite revolutionary once it's running fully. We're still finalizing some of the patents. We have so far created 2 patents that is filed, a third one that is in the process of being filed. And there is unknown numbers more, at least 3 to 4 more that is coming around this technology.
There are at least 6 that we've targeted.
Yeah. Yeah, this is foundational technology that we're building. It's not a small patent we're talking about here. So this is a bit of the reveal. This is what is in the box. Like we have been working tirelessly in the back scene trying to figure out like who can we work with to get this properly, what kind of security systems can we use to make this truly unhackable, because this is like it's a bold claim and we're fully aware that this is a very bold claim, but we're pretty sure that we have a mechanism that we can crack that one. So yeah,
I would love to see if the community has any questions. Make sure to type them in, or if you would like to unmute yourself and jump on the conversation. If not, carry on, Sudian.
I see that there is a few people that jumped in a little bit later than the rest, so I can repeat a little bit of the big reveal, which is essentially where we have a series of patents around a non-hackable digital identity, which will have a lot of implications, a lot of possibilities within a lot of spaces, both crypto-wise and traditional, both financial and otherwise. Which the first patent has a naming called SLPCS, which is Simple Login Protocol for Cryptographic Systems. And it's essentially what it sounds like. It's a login system that shows that gives you access to whatever is yours of information of anything, and you can control your information. Where does it leak? Like, do you give the provider one-time access because it needs your email or something, or do you give it updated access about everything? These are all things that it will be under your control. Like, even as a community, even as a service provider, we will not be able to access this data. Which for us is also quite important, that it's your data.
Yeah, we are touching here some ground such as sovereignty and the identity, and I feel that the crypto space, not just the crypto space, but the world has a lot to beneficiate from technologies that goes in that direction.
Yeah, so essentially what we're talking about here is a login protocol where let me give you an example. Say I'm new to the internet. I got myself a computer and I want to log into well, you know, all my friends, they've got Twitter accounts and they've, you know, I need some stuff, so I'm going to need an Amazon account and so on and so forth. If instead of going through, you know, a day or two or maybe even three of figuring out how to log in, what information to give and all this, instead now I'm able to instantly select what information I want to share and what I want to do with it. I hit a button and I now have these accounts and I now have access to whatever items that I need from these accounts. so that's the first, and then the second is that, say as we are aware, and as you've heard in our past AMAs, there were some questions posed. Those questions were actually more so hints than they were questions. Say we have a house, okay? You have a house and you've NFT'd this house. Now there's several companies that have tried doing this. One that I shall not name has done this recently and they've failed horribly because a whale lost his wallet. He had purchased X amount of property via the NFT technology. However, due to the way his purchase was structured, it was completely anonymous, but it was anonymous in a way where he could not prove that that was actually his purchase. So therefore, there's now land somewhere on this planet that technically, well, legally, no one owns. And nobody can claim it, no, nothing. So that's something we definitely do not want to perpetuate in this system. We would prefer that somebody was able to reclaim somehow those things that were anonymously acquired on the blockchain. So now we're looking at what we're calling a pseudo anonymity. You're anonymous through all of your actions that are done in the correct manner. However, when problems arise, there are certain permissions that you can authorize to establish ownership, legality, things like this. And so that's
I feel like adding on the note that you're saying this could also be simple as a KYC AML to a bank account, which means that they would have access to the base, like they would know your name, your social security number, and all of these things. But essentially, they don't need to. I'd say you don't need to go through the process 500 times because first now you're going to Binance to pick up some cryptocurrencies and oh shit, now I need a bank account. Oh, my normal bank takes too much fees, so I now want like I want another bank. I want an online bank. So now suddenly you have to do KYC, AML, all of these bullshit that takes now a week each time. It might even be the same service that you're using to do the KYC, but it takes individual timing and it's very, very both frustrating, time consuming. Yeah.
correct. And so to continue my thought, when you have these assets, whether they be physical property or well, essentially physical property, whatever that asset may be, a vehicle or a home or a property or jewelry or you know, let your mind wander. We now have the patented technology to allow you to, excuse me, that will allow you to transfer said asset instantly with essentially litigation already programmed into the transfer. So, you know, if I want to sell a house, yes, of course, we can do inspections and we can do all of these other things. However, if I would just want to sell a house and the other person agrees, yes, I want that house, here's the money. It's literally, we just hit a button and it's done. And the other person now owns that house, which we think will simplify quite a bit in the space. I'll turn it over to whoever has a question or whoever has a statement next.
So we have our first question from Dreaming Heroes. Congratulations on these initial patents. Curtailing processes like KYC would be a massive in the space. What is the projected timeline for the rollout, and what are the potential pitfalls that you were looking out for?
Mr. CEO, do you want to take the lead?
I'm scared of the pitfall question. But I think the schedule would be less than 12 months, sort of the timeline to where you'll see things, you know, emerge and be out there. As far as things I'm really afraid, you know, I can't comment on that right now, but it's a good question. Anyway.
Does the community would like to make any other questions or be part of the conversation? As an example, we are here to update, to inform, but also opening a space for the community to have a conversation.
I think the answer is yes. We'll certainly use a blockchain like protocol to save all of the transaction detail records that would be kept in a peer-to-peer network and, you know, accessible to the public anytime, anywhere. We want to avoid the issue that the EU has raised, that blockchain proper takes up too much CPU time and has too big a carbon footprint. We're going to use something less invasive, I guess, than that.
Yeah, there is a lot of yeah, we like to say stuff. There is a lot of back things that is still being settled and sorted out around the patents and around exactly how Unbox is going to use this technology. How is it going to be a part of building it potentially? What kind like yeah, there's many things that will come out of this, and part of it may come out of the community, not necessarily just from us. Yeah, felt like throwing that one out there as well.
I see that this last part that you said to about the community kind of links with the next question we have from Freya. Are you opening positions anytime soon, or are all foreseeable positions filled? So for our team, and I hope that's the question that you're making now, we're looking, yes, to expand the team. It also depends on not just the timelines and the goals that we have, but on the goals that we reach and expanding as we go. So yes, we expand, we grow, we get more team, and we build community as well.
I just feel I'm pretty sure that some of you has more questions. Like it's quite a bold state. There's quite some bold statements that we're pointing out here, and I would really like to hear some of your opinions. Like, please jump in voice or write, put in writing. Like, what is your thoughts? Any team member that feel like jumping in that is hearing about this first time properly now or recently?
So, Deckard here. I'll ask something. When I first learned about these developments, my first concern is, executability with, such a bold undertaking. I don't know if it's appropriate to speak on any of that now, but that's my primary concern when I hear something so revolutionary and so bold is, executability. What's anything, can you talk about anything related to the plan of execution or anything like that yet?
Jamie, do you want to take this one?
Well, I'm loath to get into risk management issues right now because simply I'm just too new and we really haven't thought it through. There's no question it's certainly an important consideration. I'm fortunate that in my background I have built very large online OLTP systems like we're talking about here. So I'm nonplussed with the challenge of implementing the technology, but it's not the technology issues that I'm worried about with this right now. So, but yes, I'd like to just table that question. It's something that we'll be able to answer down the line, but I don't want to do it now because I'm just not prepared.
No worries.
Yeah, information about majority of what we're going to do is going to be released in order when things are ready to be released, so to say. And as mentioned before, we have the decentralized elements in there to make sure that this is not under centralized care and all of this. Yeah, we will note that question for another time and we will come back to it. Thank you. Anyone else having something on their mind?
I guess with that, I would like to thank you, Suryan, Viking, and our new guest that has been introduced today here for this AMA, this big revelations, and to say that it is a start of the conversation. And I think it was a hell of a start. I would like to thank you who are still here listening, dear UNBOXER, for showing up and for your participation on today's call. We appreciate you. Very happy to have you around. And talk to you on next week's AMA.
Have a good one, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
All right, bye.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Thank you for joining.